today we're just gonna show some of the development that I've been working on. Hopefully we'll release this soon, and it's basically a shell for Gemini API, and using it to maybe extend some of the things that we want to do with regards to how to use AI. So let's get started. So first we need to just log in. So currently, because it's still in development, so as you can see, this is in dev mode, so just using simple password. So once you register and become one of the listed beta testers, you will be able to try it out and do some of the things that you want to do. So you enter your access code, and then you press enter, and then it should get us inside. So currently there's some work already, so if we've been doing some of that already. So basically this is what it looks like, the interface. So currently we were using the defaults here. So how the application is laid out is, first you configure your prompt. So how do you want your prompt to be? So usually this is in Gemini, this is advanced if you're using the AI Studio or the Vertex AI. So you can also do this here. So there are a few options here. So currently this is still in testing, so when we release it, you will need your Gemini key that you need to get, or we can help you get, and then you just have to set up the different parts of the prompt. So the temperature, the top P and the top K, and then the maximum output tokens, and then you do need to refer to some of the documentation in terms of how to use this, but we will be providing some of that help guide. So that's a bit about the configuration of the prompt. The other one is the safety concerns. So sometimes you might want to be, if you're using it with some other people and you don't want to have any of these things to be part of your prompt, then you can maybe filter them or add the different levels of restriction. So you have none, you have low to above, then medium and above, and then only high. Meaning only high is like block all the very serious content that the AI might generate in terms of the result it has, in terms of any harassment language, and so forth, with the hate and sexual explicit content and dangerous content. So the next, this is the really cool feature of this application. So you basically configure. So currently there's only 3 models at the moment. So you have Pro latest, and then now this is 1.5 Pro latest, and then you have Flash latest, and then you have Pro. It squeezed there, so let's just move this bit. Yeah, so you just select from the select list which one you want to use in terms of the model, and so where we have built some assistants that could maybe provide some help in terms of the different areas that you might be receiving on, and I think this is you can. So these are some of the prompts that we have already in here. So Docker, red teaming, proposal, a business expert, email helper, and then these were some of the things that we ported from Hugging Face, and so we're just trying these out. Pretty interesting, but yeah. So once you have your account, you can personalize these agents as you want. So they all have different purposes, so you can just choose from them. So default is usually like for information learning. We'll do a demo before we close the video. But then here we have special features. So usually special features like very simple stuff. This is a special feature that is kind of for lab testing, and it helps in terms of some things that you do with the prompts. And then theming is just basically changing the colors for these border lines. So if I change this to yellow, or like maybe light blue, and then I click out. Maybe I just do one activity just to refresh it. And then you have some audio, so this will change once you start making changes. So there is one, so we're integrating 11 labs as well as the audio. So that's why you don't see audio 1, because you need the key for 11 labs to get audio 1. There is a substitute, which is this audio. When you click on it, anything that's generated in the prompts can be audified or provided audio with. And then status is just providing the status of what you've been using, so the number of AI requests, and then number of audio files. So currently there are no audio files, and then the number of agents. So there are actually 16 agents that are on this at the moment, but we see that there will be more, and we're just going to build that into the development. So these ones are just for to show some. So the helper guide is still in development, so we haven't still working on that one. Then this one is a little bit about developer and some of the tech that's being used. Yeah, so let's get to the other part of the app. So the extended context, this is where you can actually add context. So say for example, you can actually ask this, so let's just refresh this just to get a new prompt, right? So here, this is where you can add context. So if you're using this active assistant, so this is the default. This is more of a learning assistant. So so for example, if you wanted to understand something like CSS, in web development, right? So this is just text. So this is text, and so you can ask, okay, what how can I learn this? So when you send it a prompt, it will turn yellow, noting that the prompt is active and it's processing a request. So that's going to take some time, depending on your internet speed and the required support that you need. This will take a little bit of time. So currently I think it's a little bit slow at the moment. Yeah. So once it's finished, it will turn back to your default theme. So if we wanted to change the theme, like I noted earlier, say we wanted it, maybe we wanted a more blue color, just maybe sometimes you want to set the mood to what you want to do. So it gives you, so how the default is designed in terms, the default agent or assistant is designed to help you learn, right? So it tries to show you step by step some of the information. So all of this is actually generated by the AI. There's no coding behind the scene. I mean, there is some structuring of how it will respond in terms of displaying some of the elements in terms of the prompt engineering that has gone into this agent assistant. So so basically we gave it a little bit of context what it should focus on, and then the question that we asked. So as you can see, additional content is what is in the web. So that's what we are looking at, and then what we are asking it, how can I learn this? So it gives you some understanding, so grasping the fundamentals, so selectors, so things like the tags, and then the elements like buttons and other things, and then the property values, so colors, fonts. So basically what you will see in a CSS structure, and then explain the different types of CSS methods. So basically this is actually for learning. So you can also change the context of say, for example, you know that CSS is in web development. You also know that HTML is in web development. So you can just give me content on how to learn, right? So and then it will just run through it again, and because you're working with so because you're working with some of that understanding, it will try to figure out how to help you in terms of that. Yeah, so so this is part of its prompt. So it tells you to give me information and show me some links of how to learn this. So this is all part of the engineering transfer difficulty prompt, the assistant here. So as you can see, our color has changed from this theme. So now that's just going to be active because that's the color we've selected. Yeah, so also just talking you through all of these other elements, header links, pages, lists, and divisions. So it helps you learn in some ways. So for example, some of the other stuff is the helper code. So you can choose from here what kind of codes you want to maybe ask for helping. Okay, so maybe for example, we'll remove this context. Let's change agent to say Python. So we're gonna just change agent to Python. So we can ask, okay, calculate two numbers, right? So basically we're just writing it some context of what it should do, and then we can just say, because it's in the Python agent, it will understand that this is what I want to do, and then it should be, because I'm asking for code, it should give me the Python code. So give me the code. So it's useful for students and anyone who likes to program stuff. Some of this application was also built by this agent, because I used it to actually modify some of the cases. So I do get this a lot. This is usually caused by either the internet has a problem, and I think this is because of where I am at the moment. But you can, if you have good internet or stable internet within your country, this shouldn't come up. But let's try it again. Yeah, so you see, because we're in the Python context, and this agent is actually related to Python resources. So as you can see down here, it says Python assistance. So So it's also trying to give us some understanding of the details of how the program can be written. And so it says obtaining the numbers, so you defining the two numbers, and this is how Python defines them. And then I think here, I think for initial learners, this could be a little bit of advanced code, but you can still use it. But you can just basically, so say this is the Python code. Maybe you don't understand, and this is where we can use this code part, right? So we just give, because we know it's Python, we can just give it code and tell me explain this. So let's just go through this one first. So it says, so here it's because you're receiving a text input, you do need to convert them into a number or integer or a float. So in this example, it's converting it into a float, because sometimes when you're calculating the two numbers, okay, so it has taken into account that we're not asking it to add the numbers or subtract the numbers, but it's saying that in any operation, it's safer to use floats, because if you're subtracting a number and then that number becomes a decimal, there are decimal values, then a float is far more better to anticipate the result. So that's why it's given you trying to convert that into a float. So it's also quite intelligent enough to figure out what would be the best case scenario for those things. So it's very helpful. And then because the Python codes, the Python assistance prompt engineering was to say, so give me the whole code. So I think because this is written in Python, and there's one thing that it's missing that it hasn't given us, is that in Python, if you are using libraries, maybe because these are the fundamental elements that are already inside the Python libraries that it already has on system, it's not really worrying about importing the libraries that you need. But yeah, so if you do need, if it does need the libraries that need to go into a solution, then it will also prompt those. And then additional notes, to consider data types. So Python automatically handles integers and float points calculation. If you need to work more complex numbers, use complex data types. So yeah, so it gives you some understanding and so forth. So for example, we wanted to know what this is, right? So we already gave it code. So it's just Python and then the code context. So if it was another code set, you can choose another code set, but because we're using Python, we can use that one. We can remove this context because we want to ask it, okay, I want to understand this code. Please explain. So I mean, yeah, I think I've overkill. So here, this is what it looks like when you send out the context. But I think I've overkilled the question because it already knows that based on its understanding, you'll figure out which language it has this, and also the context is already, I've already told it it's a Python code set. So that's why it's like that. So yeah, it's already got understanding that this is a Python code set, but it can figure it out by itself. So as you can see, we've given it code, and now we want to it's given us the understanding. So it says this code snippet focus on a, so it also now knows that it's part of something that we took out from some code base, and it's a snippet. So retrieving the miracle, so obtaining the first number, so this one. So now it's going to talk you through what each element is for. So meaning that if you don't know what that code line is, you can just tell it, and it will try to help you. So it says this part of the code interacts with the user input. Is a built-in Python function. So yes, so those are input, and then it says the float function is used to for type conversion, or converting it from string to float. So in Python returns the user input as a string by default. However, performing of calculation, like we noted earlier, we need a number. So the flow converts the string we received from input. So now we understand what that is, right? And also it's just gonna repeat the same thing. It's just gonna say line follows the exact same, so it doesn't need to re-explain. So the essence, and then explains all of that. Yeah, so it's very useful because, for example, if we clear this and say, because these are we're doing these are we're combining the prompts in all of this, so you can combine all of this, so yeah, so you can also say okay, okay, I want, so I want, so you're giving it some understand. I want to compare 3 strings, and then output the results in JSON or something. We know that Python has JSON support, so you can say write me a function. So this is what you've given it. So I want to compare 3 strings and then output the results in JSON. So it's gonna do what it will need to do, and then it will help you in terms of getting that result out. Yeah, so okay, here it is. Okay, so function compare string and output. So this is also all part of the Python engineering prompt that's inside its setup. So it's defining a function and then performing the comparison. So it's showing you how it's doing that, and then constructing the JSON output, and then how that's happening. So here it's creating all that for you. And as for Python style best practices, you always need to document your code. So it's also doing that on for you as well. So it's also teaching you to have good coding practice based on what it already knows. So okay, so the result is compare, and then the result. So here the result is printed out like that because in the return statement, it's actually returning a JSON setup. And like I said before, it's smart enough to figure out, because we were doing calculations before, it was just using the native Python support, but because JSON is a library, so it's just calling the JSON import library for JSON, and then that's where you can use JSON to just take the string and then put the string into a JSON format, and then this is what you get. So JSON format is a JavaScript object notation. I think that's what it's referred to. So it's a way of it's similar to XML. I won't say it's similar because they're totally different, but how they were designed, it was to deliver information. So a lot of the web services that are online, they use a lot of JSON files, or JSON or JavaScript object notation, JSON outputs to actually provide. So Facebook, YouTube, all of these APIs, they output this stuff, and then it just goes through trying to put together its understandings for the user like me in terms of that, in some helpful function. So if we clear this and we just give it, because we can just ask it what it can help us, is like what can you do for me? So because all the prompts are cleared, because all the prompts are cleared, right? So meaning that it will just try to respond with its current prompt engineering setup. Yeah, so here we go. So Python capabilities, a functional overview. It's a versatile. Yeah, so it's trying to like give you some understanding what Python is. So this is what it can help you with. So it's quite good. I've been using it for quite a long time, and I think I'm still fine-tuning some of the stuff here and there. But it's good. It's going really well. So these other options are. This is for YouTube. So for example, if you wanted to take some context from a YouTube video and place it in here, you can do that. So for example, if we go to general, so we're changing the assistant to general, and just to maybe see if we can get a YouTube video and test out this feature. Okay, the internet is quite slow. Anyways, yeah, so let's look for some videos in terms of just looking for something that is what is this? Oh no, that's quite long. Okay, let's maybe use this one, right? I don't know what this is. This is a video, so we just copy. We're just gonna copy the link. We won't play it. So let's go back to this. So we take the video here, right? And then we paste it. Okay. So if we paste it here, we haven't done anything yet on it. So if we are going to use the context, we need to activate the context. Let's view the video first. So once you activate this part here, this is basically okay. Load the video from the transcript, and then if you go here, this is like this is where you can view it. So as you can see, now the video is available in the prompt. So you can watch it here if you want. If you don't want, you can just click pause. So as you can see,
today we're taking a glimpse at an underdog of an instruction set. But this
yeah, so maybe you don't have time to watch that. So let's go back here, disable that. So if we disable this, we can't watch it anymore. So you see, it's no longer available. But if you enable it, then you can watch the video there. And if we enable this one, so basically this is gonna get us the context of what that transcript is about. Not sure if, okay, it seems like the context is there because it hasn't given us any errors. So if we ask it to say okay, summarize this video, and then it will, hopefully the internet is stable because it's probably pulling a lot of the information that it had on the video, and now it needs to push it to the AI prompt, to the AI. So general is basically very general, like there's no heavy prompt engineering that has gone into it, and so it's quite general. So as you can see, there's no it's not really doing a lot in terms of formatting, making it more understandable. So it's basically giving you a summary, right? So you can ask it for a summary, and then you can say what were the main points. Yeah, so and then this is so this is what's happening in the back end, as you can see. That's what it was doing. Yeah, so you see, just by talking to it, we already have the summary of the video, and because we didn't ask it for any particular formatting or any particular thing that it needs to do, it just gave us a summary in the short form. So this is more like a 16-minute video, but it gave you a summary of it in the short form. So we've also asked it the main points, so all of that maybe the lady was talking about, and so forth. So this is how YouTube is being integrated into here, and so forth. So if you want to watch it, you can watch it. Sometimes if you're doing research, this is a useful tool. So it's basically designed around being very educational and being very useful in terms of what you can do with it, right? So you can turn that off. Let's clear this so we won't mess around with that anymore. So that's how the YouTube context works. So this is additional YouTube context, which means that we're using YouTube to actually get some information, and then maybe we can put together with some of this and some of that and some of the YouTube to actually make maybe more useful in terms of our research, or more useful in terms of your study, or more useful in terms of understanding the topic. So the other one is this file uploader. So it supports PDF, so you can browse for PDFs and ask certain elements about a PDF. I don't know, maybe we'll make another video that will go through some example of this one. Then you have your CSV. So if you have CSV data that you want to work with in terms of the AI, you can upload those. So you can upload a CSV and then start talking to it. So what were the rates in terms of this? How do you see the trends in the next? So if you have reports that are in CSV, you can just load it up and talk to it. The images, you can, I don't know, there's not much you can do with the images apart from maybe trying to spot what's inside the image. If you're really looking for something specific, but basically at the moment images can help you add more context in terms of if the images are graphs, or if the images are tables, the AI can help you pull those images out. But I mean, there are ways to use it, so we're still developing some of those elements. So this one is hopefully it's still in development. This will be, we will have a whole set of system lineups here. So if you click on a button, it will give you a dialog that will maybe ask you for some credentials for a database, or some credentials for some cloud resource that has some information, and then it will pivot in terms of bringing it into the prompts. Yeah. So I think that's a little bit about this Gemini AI stuff, and this application. The other one is it has audio as well, and then these are some other special features like I shared earlier, and then it has some status. So we've already showed that we've already done like 56 of those. So yeah, I think in the coming days we will be making more videos around how to use this better, and if you become a beta user, you will get access and you can also start playing with it. But there are other features that are very useful, like this one. If you're I use this because I created this prompt because maybe I wanted to create this is actually a prompt that I'm hoping that it will integrate with the system later on, like asking the system to give me some information and then asking the prompt to do some work on the information. So for example, here is like, what is the, okay, or maybe you can say I want to do this on my Linux machine. Create a file and then open, create a file with a name, and then what do you call input data using the terminal. I don't know if this work, which will pull information from GitHub, right? And then store it in this file, and changing the words below in the file. I don't know if it understands this, but which is so. Give me the command string. I don't know if so we give it that. So we're using the Linux prompt. So basically, we'll just print us the prompt, the Linux command itself. Oh, there you go. There it is. So it's just giving us this command alone. So it's yeah, sid. So it's pretty useful. So we've given it a prompt, and then it says it's done all this in one command. So download a file from somewhere, and then using sid is like it changes, modifies strings based on the word. So we wanted to change the word hello to world, right? So this is what it's actually doing, is changing the word hello to world. We didn't give it a word to change it to. We just said change it to the file, and then it created a file. So and then they put it in that file. Yeah, so it's very useful. So this one, if like if you think about it, because it's written in Python, you can maybe take this prompt inside the system and then run a command, and then take that information and push it back out to the AI prompt. Yeah, but yeah, so you see, basically anyone can be a Linux expert now, because you just give it what you want to do, and it will spit out what it's going to do. So augmenting the difficulties of systems is one thing that these AIs can possibly do. And basically, if you have some really good prompt engineering, these are some very useful stuff. So basically, in the prompt engineering for this, is we're trying to make it simple as possible. So because sometimes it can spit out additional text, but yeah, so also verifying that this is useful. So it's taking this information, and then because it's using these Linux pipes, it will pipe the information into the SID, and then SID will take that information and then swap that out. So it's swapping it, right? That's what it's basically doing here. It's swapping the word hello with that one, and then outputting whatever the result of the SID command is to the file name. So very useful if you're a Linux user. Because this is designed on Linux, and unfortunately, if you run, I think it's possible to run this on Windows. I haven't tested it yet, but because Python is a universal programming language, so it can run in many of the system that it has its interpreter on. So you can actually run this on Windows. We will be looking at building prompts around Windows in terms of the assistance, what you can do in terms of those, and so forth. Yeah, so that's a little bit about Miah's AI assistant. So this is still in development. We're hoping to release it soon. So please look out for that. Check the channel, and and you can find more on our website. We'll put some of the links in the description below. But yeah, like and subscribe. And this has been like a Pacific build from the people of the Pacific using AI. So thank you so much.